Welcome to another episode of... Wow, that was a... What's an episode? I don't even know what an episode is.
It's kind of like
that's staying in the episode.
Oh, I'm the one that edits it, so it's definitely staying in the episode.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that a sci-fi thing?
Oh my goodness. No, yeah. But all right, thank you everyone for coming and listening to another exciting episode of Acceptable Accuracy. That's totally my outro, but we're still going to count this. So it's Phil. What are we talking about today?
Today, Tyler. Well, let's get some introductions going first. It's like we haven't done this in a little while. We get a little rusty when we podcast like a month in between. So, quick introductions. I am your host, the Philip the Dutch Bullfrog. I am joined by the other host, Tyler. I packed a whole lot of sandwiches, but did not eat them on the Wolverine 5K. And we have two guests.
True. Yeah. It is true. My first nickname that was given to me was Snack Pack, and I hated it at first, but now I've come to accept it. And this last Wolverine 5K, I packed like 6 sandwiches, 10 cheese sticks, a bunch of gummy bears, and I don't think I ate any of it. It was great. So,
I mean, you were prepared. You didn't need it. You were a Boy Scout.
I was straight up a Boy Scout. But
we're joined by our other 2 teammates from the Wolverine 5K, Brent and Casey. Do you guys want to say hi real quick in alphabetical order?
That is so. I mean, hold on a second. A, B. It's me. Okay.
It is.
My name's Brent, and
your letters B.
Huh? Well, sometimes you got, dude. I had a private school education, so I'm very high on the list. Anyway, so
I had a public school education.
I've been here, but shut up, Tyler. I'm trying to introduce myself.
No.
This is why our episodes go over an hour.
It does. A, B, C. It's your turn, Casey.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, old man.
My name's Casey, and I was the lucky 4th teammate to witness the circus the whole time, and it was amazing.
Oh my goodness! What's an amazing, Casey? Is that the words you want to use?
It was a great time.
It was a great time, actually. I will admit I was pleasantly surprised this year because I was definitely got my arm twisted to come this year. I will admit that, and I'm glad I went. So
it's true.
Keep that my arm twisted thing because we're going to bring that up later.
Well, now that we've got introductions out of the way, Tyler, what is the Wolverine 5K, my dude?
Yeah, so the Wolverine 5K is a tactical adventure race. So we are given a start time. So essentially between the times of around 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., you have a bunch of tasks to do, whether it's going through 10 different shooting stages, any bonus activities, whether it's putting together, assembling, disassembling an AR, trying to count do some puzzles or do pull-ups, but also you are to do a 5K land navigation ruck. And there are 2 distinctive teams. You have your recreational team and your hardcore team. Your recreational team, they are in the ruck, I believe it's either 20 or 25 pounds they have to carry, and they are allowed to use a GPS, whereas a hardcore team, you had to do 45 pounds for your ruck and no GPS. So you got a map, you're dropped off into a random location, and you have to figure out where to go next. You're going to 5 different locations, and you have a bunch of bonus points as well in between in order to make points. So the whole purpose of the competition is to get the lowest score possible. So however long your ruck is your base time, and determining on your bonus points, how well you do in the shooting stages, and any other miscellaneous tasks that you do is how you can get points taken off. The Wolverine 5K is essentially a modified 3-gun competition between pistol, carbine, and long range, but every stage varies. So it is extremely different than a typical USPSA match, but for us, we have done the Wolverine 5K before. I have done 4. This is my 4th one now, I believe. Phil, was this like your 6th one, 6 or 7?
Yeah, it is 6 or 7, and I can't remember what it is. And I'm not just saying that for all the Zoomers that listen to this podcast.
Well, I guess 7 or 8 now if you include the winter Wolverine.
That's
Technically
fair.
speaking.
That is actually true. That's a good point. So,
Mhm.
with that, Brent, let's say that I have shot USPSA or 3-gun. What is this like? What makes this competition different, and what like what from a skill perspective would I need to like work on from like a shooting perspective in order to do something like this?
Oh, geez, everything. One of the biggest differences how we do this and how we roll is that it's a team. It's a team sport. So we're working
Yes. Yep.
together as a team.
Yeah.
Lots of talking. Figuring things out. And I'm sure we'll get to that. But this year, they did an amazing job of giving us the opportunity to work it out, and we did it really well a couple of times, and not so well a couple other times. But
Yeah.
as far as a training port of that, a lot of it is pistol, and the four of us, I'm gonna say I'm extremely proud of you men, because being the pistol shooters that you are, that paid off for us quite well. Um, and then as far as like the carbine portion of it, it's not really that far. I somebody want to give me what they thought? Maybe 150, maybe
I'd say so. I'd say about 150 was probably
150,
about what we shot.
175.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I mean, for a carbine, anything that's zeroed well, and anything that
Yeah.
you have that you know how to manipulate it, it's pretty easy shots. But like I'm saying, the biggest part of this is that and the physicality. You go to a USPSA match and you're going to spend 25 seconds, all out trying to go as fast as you can, or maybe even a multi-gun match where you're going to do, I don't know, 90 seconds, maybe more than that. But the physicality part of it, it's kind of beating you up, and it kind of gets, what do I say, compounded as the day goes on, because you kind of get gassed out a little bit. So
And
Yeah.
what? How
Like
many?
someone else did at the very end.
yeah, we're going to
How
talk about that.
many? How many Wolverine 5Ks is this for you now, Brent?
I think this is 3.
I think
I
that
believe
sounds
so.
about right.
That sounds
Three
about
or
right.
4. I do not know. I don't know. And well, Casey, you've been with other teams on this, haven't you?
This was my third one, so I did
Oh,
the one with the last team last year, and then kind of the half with this team for the winter one.
oh, gotcha.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this was your first hardcore team, Casey?
Yep, this was last year. Was stepping into it with rec and starting to understand the scale of what this was, and so this was my first year doing hardcore.
I didn't realize that. Wow, dude, you crushed it. Holy
I
He
cow.
did
no
crush it.
kidding.
But we'll get into it. But let's just say that Casey both figuratively carried us on his shoulders during the orienteering part of things. Plus, he also carried a bunch of points on his shoulders as well too. Later in
Yeah.
the during the ruck. So, um, with that being said, the difference for you, Casey, on this, with like a gear difference in like a different like weight for somebody that has never done hardcore before, what's kind of the recommendation for making that step from recreational team to the hardcore division?
I think the biggest differences, well, the differences in the two divisions are the amount of weight you can carry. On the land nav portion, you're allowed extra tools like GPS and recreational. And then when it comes to the actual shooting events, it's just a plate carrier. And so I think the biggest things that I would recommend for somebody wanting to step up is 25 pounds is a pretty manageable weight for just a regular backpack. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that moving up to hardcore at 45 pounds, that's enough weight that you're really going to want to consider having a pack that's structured, and also having the ability to put that weight on your hips if that's something you can do, because taking that weight to your shoulders the entire time is going to probably just wear you down, as well as having good land nav equipment and a really comfortable plate carrier. Flexible cummerbund has been my biggest upgrade, because without that, breathing gets tough.
Yeah. Now, speaking of plate care, I'd love to hear what you guys chose for your gear for this competition. Brent, why don't you go and start us off?
Yeah, well, I'm an HRT guy like you, Tyler.
Yep.
So
Which
for
is why I
the
called you.
yeah, good. So for the shooting portion of it, not the orienteering or the ruck, just wearing it's when it's all fleshed out, it's probably about 15 pounds. We're required to carry 12 on this, for the hardcore people are. for that.
I'll be honest, I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my carrier's so heavy to where it didn't even matter.
Yeah,
I think
are you running steel plates in that?
no, I have LA Police Gear ceramics in there,
Okay,
but
all right,
usually by the time I've got with hydration, my pack, my mags, I'm just like that
right.
thing's well over 15, if not pushing 20 pounds.
Right. So for that, that's how I do it. Now I have the vest that I train with is just a crappy old plate carrier. Of course, back when I started this, you get those level 3 or 4 plates that weigh like 9 pounds each.
Oh yeah.
So it's perfect for that to get started. I rework that. Unlike Casey, and Casey and I'm gonna chit chat with you about this, but Casey wants to wear the weight on his hips, from what I understood, and I want to wear it on my shoulders, just because of the small back problem that I have when I have that placed on my hips and how it tilts me. So pretty much all of my weight goes into a plate carrier. I have, of course, the steel plates. I actually put those in, both of them in the front, and then I use a Ruck brand 25-pound. I don't know what it looks like, a flat iron thing with 2 handles in it, and so I bolt that into the back of it, and gets me to about 47 pounds when I'm all done with it.
That's awesome.
And that's what I train. I had it out this morning too. I did 3K this morning with it. So
Dang, wow, good for you.
yeah,
Just training for next year already. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm going to Alaska to hike Alaska with my sons and my wife in July. Right. Well, the day after your wedding, buddy.
Oh, really? Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Well,
that's when we're leaving. So
wow. Well, I'm honored.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're staying for the wedding. It's like, hey,
I actually changed it when I found out about your wedding. We were going to go earlier, but
we did talk about this. That's right.
You're worth it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But with my sons are those dudes that can go. Well, we're not. My wife and I aren't going to go because it happens to be in a part of a park where they can't have a dog. My youngest son has a dog, so I have a grand dog, and we're gonna stay with the grand dog and go swimming and play fun things like that. We haven't seen him in 22 months or something, but those boys have a 28-mile hike planned that they'll just rack out. Like it won't even phase them, So I can't keep up with them, so I'm going to try to keep up with them. That's the short end of it.
That's awesome. What would you, Casey? Tell me about your ruck setup and your shooting setup.
For the ruck, I went with a Hill People Gear Aston 3 with one of the smaller belts. And for weight, I used a 35-pound straight out of the gym weight. And I think the biggest thing that I tried to do with that was take the rest of the weight and put it as high middle into my back as I could. So the rest of my actual volume in my ruck was just like towels and like a small blanket, stuff like that, just to try and push it high and up as close to my back as possible. And then I also have it's a capture flap that basically takes over for all of the retention on the actual pack itself. And so that what you do is, say you have a 30-pound paver that you want to carry for any reason.
I don't know why you want to do that.
Oh, geez, because he's an animal.
Mm-hmm.
If you were so inclined to grab one of those, instead of having to like watch teams try and find a place for it in their pack and it's going in the worst possible spot, you just put it in there and you just cinch the thing down, and then you can go from there. And for the shooting setup, Faro Concept Slickster. You guys really like carrying a lot of weight for some reason. And so I was trying to keep that as light as possible with like a Ace Tac Micro placard on it. Super light, super simple, super flexible.
Gotcha. Okay, back me up. Hill People. What's the rest of that?
Gear.
Oh, just Hill People gear. Okay.
Yep.
Was there a brand or a model of that on your pack?
That was the Aston House 3, but they make just phenomenal stuff all around.
Aston House. See, like I'm saying, I'm gonna investigate this because one of the things that I witnessed, you guys, Casey, he fully packed out, ready to go, and the dude flips off his arm or his shoulder straps, and the pack just stays right where he had it, and then he puts his straps back on. So this waist thing, and you were also telling me, Casey, that it's got some type of ribbing in it or something like that, or
yeah, it's got a metal framing on it, so it's got these two aluminum rods that'll run down the back of it to keep everything controlled. But Hill People Gear does a really good job of putting all the weight in the small of your back, just because it's the right spot to transfer it into. And so you can actually take them out and mold them to fit your back specifically.
Oh,
Gotcha.
wow.
And then, so yeah, like I could swim out of the straps and it would stay upright on me with 45 pounds on it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I might have to check into that, because I did what I had to do to get through this year. But if I can get my back trained enough that I can, because I'm assuming that I could distribute that weight between my shoulders and my hips by just adjusting straps.
Yep. You
Okay.
can definitely try that thing out at some point if you want.
I would love to do that. All right. Commercial over. Hill People Gear sponsors.
Thanks, Brent.
Hey man, whatever.
I know, right? For once, it's not one of us. But it's funny because I do agree. Like, that was something that I definitely really struggled with this year with the ruck. Granted, I just personally, I did not train that aspect of it as much as I would like. And my ruck was just so heavy, man. I had but it also didn't help that I was also carrying, by the end of it, 54 pounds. That means I potentially was carrying 60 pounds in my ruck, because apparently I have no idea how to add things up. So, because I was using my HRT carrier as well, and then a backpack that Phil gave me for the Zombie Invitational a couple years ago, and
You,
it was.
you also brought 2 bladders of water, dude.
Yeah, bro, I drink a lot of water.
Well, that's why we dumped one out.
We did. Well, it slipped out of my hand, but I was gonna dump it out anyway, so it worked out. But yeah, dude. Well, one was water and the other was electrolytes.
Okay.
I just did not want to cramp up like I did the past couple of years, and that was kind of my thought process behind it. And I know after a while I get really sick of electrolytes. So, and that was kind of, once again, my mentality behind it. And that's where definitely a fail on my end. And of course, like I hinted at earlier, for my shooting, I used the same HRT carrier, but I took all the weight out, or at least a good chunk of the weights out. And eventually, it's funny, like as the day progressed, I was having less and less mags in my carrier. I'm like, forget this, man. This is stupid. Especially when a lot of the stages you have maximum round counts as well.
Right.
Unless you don't know how to count. And
yeah,
you have to grab someone else's mag. What?
Yep. Yeah, I did the same thing.
That's the same stage. That was awesome. But before we get into that, Phil, why don't you tell us about your carrier and your pack setup?
Yeah, I think I use the exact same thing I used last time, and I've used the same backpack every year since I've done this. I have a Feral Concepts FCPC, which I really like. Similar to Casey, I actually do run mine pretty lightweight. I have a set of ceramic plates, actually LA Police Gear plates too. They're really inexpensive, so they're almost like throwaway plates. Actually, mine are expired, so but they get used for this and then like practice for it, and I'm sure they're still fine. But the similar FCPC concept with the like bungee cummerbund, just because again I like to breathe, so I don't have like need for side plates or anything. But for the backpack, I use a Kelty Red Wing, and I forget what generation it is. But I'm a lot like Brent in that. Well, actually, it would be Casey in that my weight has to sit on my like waist. Just because of a back injury that I had many years ago now at this point. So with that, it's got a hip belt, and it's adjustable for taller people. At least that generation of Kelty is. So it does sit really nice and sits on my back. I don't have the fancy like mold a frame to your back thing, but it does have a plastic like framing inside of it to help it keep firm. But I actually use, and again, similar to Casey, I actually use a towel on the bottom, and then I stack ammo cans. And for my weight, we use what we lovingly call around my household the turkey, because it looks like so you took a turkey and wrapped it in like grocery bags, and it's just sand. And I have it molded to like fit nicely in the back top of the bag. So it's actually like Powell 2 cans and then right on the top, and then I can put an extra weight to make weight right on the top of that. And I was 46 something, I think, when I measured in, and then when I got back, I was the same. This year, like and for me, I try to keep it really close to my back, because if I push it out, that's actually when I start getting back problems too. So I didn't want to actually run a water bladder. I ran it's a Red Wing because it's got like these wings on the side. And and then right below the wings are like pockets for water and Gatorade, and I ran a water and a Gatorade right next to each other and drank them both on the rock. So that's what I ran this year. I don't think I would change anything on that going forward. It does sort of dig into your shoulders a little bit because you do have 2 sets of straps, but everybody except for Brent had to deal with that. So it is what it is.
So speaking of the ruck, Casey, since you are our land nav guy, can you kind of break down the ruck for us and what that looked like?
Yeah, so this one was a lot different than the years prior.
Mm-hmm.
So this year the route was very well laid out and structured to the point to where it was just follow a road. And if you wanted to, you could cut through and do some bushwhacking to kind of get to those points a little bit quicker. But they had 5 mandatory points that were all very easily accessible. And then they had several different types of fragos throughout, which were basically optional missions or things you could do. And some of the fragos included taking a picture with a flag out front for bonus points. And there was carrying a 30-pound paver, or however heavy that thing, it felt like 30 pounds at the time, for the rest of your ruck, and then carrying a flag that you could find at the beginning. So on top of that, there were up to 20 objective points that you could find that were optional, and those each took time off of your ruck. And so they were pretty well clustered throughout, to where if you found one, you were able to kind of move and find the other ones pretty readily. But that really allowed for people with some land nav skills to really grab points, because you could just run that as fast as you wanted and get your time. But people were coming back from the land nav portion with negative time overall because of all the optional fragos they found. And so it was a really good balance of having the option to just go run as fast as you want and then shoot, but it was still very rewarding to people that were wanting to do land nav. And if you look at the scores, the people who were very well placed in land nav did very well overall.
Yeah, I agree. And that was something too that even Claire, who is I guess the founder, the owner of Wolverine 5K and MTC Marksmanship Training Center up in Lake City, and he essentially he didn't just hint, he flat out said, if you want to be competitive, you need to go for fragos. So, which I'm like, yeah, and he was right. The teams that won, who were like the top 5, essentially went for all the fragos. I know for us, we kind of early on we were going for some of the fragos and the bonus points, but I know me personally, I was just getting done, and I was just like, I'd rather just be done with this, because on the selfish side, that my ruck was just pinching, so my shoulders still hurt, like they're in a lot.
Dang,
of
dude.
not a lot, yeah. My shoulders still hurt from the 5K.
You might be getting, instead of a magnifier, you might be getting a nice backpack for your wedding gift.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I will use a magnifier much more than I would a ruck.
That's true. That's true.
So that's
I'll get you a Timo magnifier and a Timo backpack. How about that?
I mean, once again, you can do whatever. You can get me whatever you want. I'm extremely grateful.
Flowers.
You do not need to get me anything. But
he said it. I heard him.
It's true. You really don't. Like no, that's fine. That's fine.
My presence is your present.
Your presence is my present.
Okay,
but
rein it back in here.
But I do have a honeymoon to pay for. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Half kidding. But
that one thing I will say is that we're getting back into it is regarding the ruck. Casey, you did a fantastic job of getting us around from point A to point B and never like being super chill about it the whole time. I think that was kind of the most surprising thing. You're like, yeah, I got this, no problem. And then you would like plot stuff out. And I remember even while we were walking, I would be like reading coordinates to you, or you'd be reading them back to me. And I'm like, how is he plotting this while we're moving? Like I can barely read while I'm walking.
Because there were like, I remember, I think Phil, like after the second mandatory stop point, you're like, yeah, you can decipher this while walking. I looked at him like, no, I can't. This is not happening.
Right. For the codes and the tap code stuff.
Yes, because because there was an encrypted message and we needed to decipher it, whether it was tap code, Morse code, ASL, or like keypad code. And I was like, bro, there's absolutely no way, especially with sign language, which funny enough, my fiance knows sign language. I was like, so when I showed her some of the pictures, like, oh yeah, that's just words. I'm like, what?
Fun
It's like,
fact on those specific like challenges that we had to do for the codes and stuff, they intentionally left a letter off of the saying, because when you decode everything, it says something like a quote from the movie or some
mhm.
kind of quote of some sort. But they left a letter off intentionally so that people that were like zipping through it and like were predicting the outcome of the word would intentionally mess it up, and they would not get credit for it. So when I turned our paperwork in, I actually pointed it out to the lady. And I said, "Hey, just so you know, there's a letter missing at this spot. We didn't put it in because it wasn't there." And she looked at me and she said, "Yes, that was intentional."
she's
So
like, that's the point.
yes, so we
Oh,
got all of our points for that. But I wanted to make sure that it wasn't an accident. And then we did not get all our points for it. But no, that was intentional. So she like, it was funny because she like whispered it to me. So because she knew that we had got it right, but she didn't want the other teams that were still calculating their stuff or turning it in to overhear it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. That's great.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
no,
I
Phil and I
want to
know
jump in
that.
on this too. Casey, thank you for, I mean, you gave us a really good blend of, for people that don't know Casey, he wants to land nav all day through the
Yes.
sticks, over the hills, to grandma's house we go. And it was one of those things where you get, I was, can't say I was gassed a little bit. I have knee things, and you guys kept me in the game, and I was able to complete the whole thing. And I still think we did okay in the nav as far as points. So it was a good balance. And the other thing before I forget, Claire, if you listen to this, man, you did a phenomenal job of making this and uh, everybody can participate thing,
Mm-hmm.
well,
I agree.
except for that stupid sand snake. But that's
Yeah,
besides the
no,
point.
I refuse to do that. And the fireman carry.
Well, like I'm saying, there's some teams there that killed that because they're
20 years
military
old.
like team. Yeah, they're
No.
freaks of nature,
Yeah.
like PDT. Um, but like I'm saying, it was really good, and we could have done so many more things in the woods, and just had a super fun day with that. So, but Casey, you did a fantastic job. And the other thing for land nav, I'm sorry, I'm capitalizing things. Tyler and I have figured out that if you guys ever put a team together for the Wolverine, make sure everybody's the same height, because the two Neanderthals out in front of us that's got a
We prefer
49-inch.
Viking. Thank you
Right,
very
okay,
much.
Viking. Okay, Viking. I actually am Viking descent, and I can't step like that. But
That's
these dudes,
amazing.
man, oh my, they had to have like a 50-inch spread. And Tyler and I are back there. I felt like somebody from like the Oompa Loompas trying to keep up with. It was like, geez Louise.
I
And
know. And the funny thing is, and keep this in mind too, when they stop to wait for us, we catch. Was like, oh, we can go. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
yep,
because you guys got a break. We're trying to keep up with you.
yeah. And even that with too with Casey, he's like figuring all these things, but he has to stop for a split second to actually write something because he couldn't write,
Uh huh.
well enough while he was moving. So, like saying, Tyler and I would just get there, bend over for a rest, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and keep going. I'm like, "Man, you can't tease us like that. This was a break."
Exactly.
But
It is funny though because I know we're talking about the ruck right now, but there was one shooting stage where we basically said, "Who Phil, like get there as fast as you
yep.
can," and Phil's like booking it, and I'm like, I was in front of him to start, and I was like sprinting too, and what do I see? Phil is like beaming ahead of me. I'm like sprinting as fast as I can. I'm like, Phil, I know people like everyone calls me Asian zinging fast, but I'm like, Phil, you mechanically are faster than me
Sure.
because of your long limbs.
There's a lot more to get moving though. So once Casey and I get moving, then yes. But
Yep.
like short, quick bursts, it's a little bit more. There's a
Well,
lot to move.
yeah, it's a
But
difference
yeah,
between a sprint and a distance race, and the
I'm
one that he's talking about that
I'm like
was more of a
Bowser from
distance.
Mario Kart. All right.
Oh
Like
my
once they get going, I get going fast. All right.
Oh my goodness. Nintendo, you can sponsor us too. I'd be okay with that. Maybe.
Tyler wants a Nintendo Switch too. So yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I can relive my childhood by playing Pokemon again.
The other thing I'll say real quick before we switch off the ruck, unless there are other comments about it. Again, another credit to Casey. I feel like Casey, you're not gonna be able to walk out of your office or wherever you're recording this, and your head's gonna like not fit through the door. But one thing that you did extremely well was also there were a lot of a few, I should say a few of the spots, the bonus spots that were close to each other. And if you were not spot on like mapping where those were, I could easily see people like transposing numbers or transposing the spots on the map and then punching the wrong section on their score sheet and not getting any points for it.
Phil,
Because
you
they
should
were-
explain that to the people how that worked in the punch.
Yeah. So the deal was, in the past, you would go from like a point to point, and all the points were then labeled with a point name and then the coordinates on them. In this case, the 5 mandatory ones had a name and they had the coordinates on them, and then the next coordinate you had to do or whatever. But the bonus points only had a flag, a small flag, and a punch, and that was it. So if you didn't plot it right and you punched the wrong plot on the grid coordinates for that specific line item on your score sheet, no points for you.
And they were special punches. It wasn't just the same punch.
Yes,
It was
yes,
a
thank
5
you.
dot or a 2 or whatever.
Right.
So you could go through all that work basically and then get hosed and get 0 points because you punched the wrong card because your land nav guy wasn't exactly where it needed to be.
And that is why when we were walking and we were just talking numbers back and forward to each other, is because I got too excited and I forgot to like label everything. So that happened on the first one. We got there and I was like, which point is this? And so that's why we were playing is there one kind of near this area?
Yeah.
Because I forgot to label them.
But it was funny because we were, to the whole walking conversation, we were like doing that and walking in. I thought that was going to slow us down a bit. It did not.
No, Tyler and I slowed us down a bit. I can't even imagine what the time would have been if it was just been Casey and Phil.
No, whatever.
No, seriously, you guys, because I know we were holding you back on that. You would have strided out a lot more.
Yeah, you guys just kept going, man. I'm like, dude.
And I thought I was going to be able to
going?
catch up with Casey after he put another 35-pound paver in his 45-pound pack, but that
He stayed the
didn't work.
same
I know.
until like the very end.
Yeah, I don't think it slowed him down very much.
Mm-mm. Hey, while we're talking about that, it doesn't say that you can't smash that thing with another rock and put it into 4 pieces and all carry the same thing.
I was kind of thinking that too. Can we break this up?
I think another team broke theirs in half when we were
Yes.
there. They were talking about it while we were at the point.
That's
amazing.
thinking outside the box, and it's what Claire is wanting us to do. So
Yeah. I'd be a good clarification question for them for next year. Like, hey, can
a
I break this puppy
clarification
up?
question, was that a
I
pun?
feel like they don't really clarify very much with this competition, which I appreciate. It really
That's
is
fair.
you being creative and figuring it out. That's that's how most of the stages were this year, which I very much appreciate.
Yep.
Because
Very different than USPSA. Yeah,
Yes.
in that regard. Yep.
Which funny, I think Brent and I talked about this. That's like our livelihood. Our
Yeah.
job is just winging it or just making calls and just living with it.
It's a good team balance for sure.
Yep.
Because I will sit there and try to like pick it apart to the nth degree, and then you're
Yes,
like,
you
no, we'll
will,
just go.
man.
So
It's a
Phil at the
balance. We need
stage talk
both.
to the RO. It's like, okay, if I run up there and my shoelace is untied and I bend over to him, shut up, man, let's just shoot.
The RO's like, figure it out.
There
The
goes
whole
my
time,
power again.
there's so many times the RO basically just said, figure it out.
Yeah.
This is a problem to be solved, I think, was his catchphrase.
yeah.
Yes, it was.
And also, there's one where he's like, I'll be honest. He's like, read the stage brief.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Read the stage brief. Read the stage brief. We kept asking, read the stage brief. That was like his other answer.
And that is a lot like USPSA. When I've been at nationals before ROing and CROing, and it's like people are like, well, can you do this, this, that? That's what stage brief say.
Mm-hmm.
It's just those things. I don't know if you heard me or not, but my power just jagged out again. So if you lose me, I'll be back to you as soon as I can. Okay.
That's absolutely amazing. But let's go ahead and move on from the ruck and let's go into the stages itself. So I'd love to hear, Phil, why don't you start us off? What was your favorite stage this year?
Man, that's a tough one. I keep going back and forth. I will have to say it was probably stage 1. I should bring up the stage names, but it was like Your Mama Would Be So Proud, I think is what it was called.
Your mama?
Wasn't that what it was? No, I'm serious. Your mom would be
I
so
think
proud.
it's your mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at after I get done going through the stage.
Your mom
I'm
would be
gonna look it
real
up.
proud.
Okay.
Your mom would be proud. Most
Your
of
mama.
Your mom probably wouldn't be proud.
Mama.
Wow.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that.
Anyway,
It is,
so
your mom would be real proud.
there you go. Thank you, Tyler.
You're welcome.
So that was on it was stage one, Bay One. Bay One at MTC is one of two 1,000 meter ranges that they had, and this was probably the most free-form stage available to us. And they even told us when you get to it, like Claire set up the stage to make you figure it out, which I thought was really interesting. But getting into it, and then I'll kind of let you guys step in and fill in your parts of this as we go on, because it was definitely, this stage is great because it is truly a team stage, and you're doing multiple things at once as a team, trying to balance out what you're going to do to make the stage the greatest success possible. On this stage, I think, Brent, I think you said we tied for first on this one.
I'm looking at this score thing here. So,
if you find it, let us know. But
yeah, your mom
basically,
would be,
what you did, it was you had obviously 4 team members if you were a team of 4, and you started like towards the kind of back of the field of the stage, and then you had to bound forward one person at a time. While you were doing that, you had to find quote unquote loot in the form of like an ammo can with weight inside of it that you had to bring to the final point. Once you got to the final point, there were a bunch of things that had to go on, and I'll describe what I had to do. I didn't actually grab any loot because I did not see that there was one. There was basically 2 on Tyler's side. There was like one right by him, and then there was one like further over. So we kind of made our way up. My job was as the like Overwatch or like the sniper role. And I basically had to jump in the back of what we would consider a technical. So it was a truck that I was shooting off the top of with a long range rifle. Before I did that, I put my long range rifle, which is an AR-10 and 6.5 Creedmoor, on the back of the bed of the truck. And you had to grab these rockets that you put into this rocket tube that they had. So I went and grabbed the left and right one and then put them in and got ready to shoot. And before I could do that, I come to find out there was actually an order of operation on the rockets. So I guess this is kind of where I'll hand over to Casey to kind of describe what he's doing, and then I'll jump in after that.
I had the easiest job in the whole thing. I just had to move things for people. That was easy.
I'm glad it was easy for you.
So while Phil was working on what he was working on either side of the technical that he was in, there were 2 targets, probably one at about 100 yards and one at about 150. And we advanced to some A-frame barricades, and we had to have constant suppressing fire, which was one of those steel targets. The steel targets had flashers on them, and one of those flashers had to be flashing at all times. So if they were not flashing and you were up, then you were considered killed and you were just out of the stage. And so that added a lot of team coordination to everything for who's shooting what targets, like how do we say we're up, we're down, what do we do if we miss? And so that, trusting you guys and having full confidence that once you got that steel ringing, it was going to stay ringing, made my job super easy. All I had to do was grab the rockets were staged at each shooting position. And I think Phil grabbed 1 or 2, but he was basically calling out, this is the one that I need. And so I would just run over, grab it, and then bring it over to him. And then I delivered the battlefield loot for everybody. And so I just had to grab some kind of heavy ammo cans and just walk them to the back of the pickup truck. And trusting you guys that you were always getting those hits made it super easy for me.
Yeah.
So it was in. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
No, I was just going to say my job was like Casey was saying. I just shot at 2 different targets at 100 and 150, just went back and forth. How it was after, because the stage brief said 4 fully loaded AR mags, and if you have, or more, yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to need this. And of course, me being me, shooting back and forth, I went 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I kept doing that. And after my second mag reload, I was like, I'm going way too stinking fast for this. By the end of it, I shot through probably 100, 115 rounds after that 5-minute stage. And my barrel was hot.
Dude.
My handguard was so stinking hot after
I can imagine. I can imagine.
So it's fun. Yeah, by the end of it, Brent's like, dude.
I was
I'm like, what?
I wouldn't even have had to bend there. I could help Casey.
Pretty much at that point. That's so true, because the briefing said all you needed was 1 flasher to go. We had 4 possible flashers.
Right.
I had 2 pretty much on almost the whole time.
I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, I counted. I used
Love it.
I used my D60 on that, and it turns out I shot 49 rounds that whole time.
Nice.
Wow.
And I figured out that because I set that flasher up, first one I poked, went to the second one, and I came back to the first one because you in this challenge you had to alternate. You couldn't just bang one target. You had to alternate between the two. And I came back to it, and it was still flashing. So I waited till it went out because I had just shot the second one, and I
Yeah.
knew it was going to
Mhm.
stay flashing as long. So it just became a real easy cadence for me, and it was a really good time. So,
Yeah, yeah. Once I realized after I reloaded and saw both lights were on, I was like, I'm going way too stinking fast.
well, that doesn't surprise any of us.
No, not at all.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to magged up an AR for once. I never get to do that.
It's true. You know,
Technically.
there's very few stages where you would actually ever have to drop, like, shoot that much ammo. Even Brent shooting 49 rounds is a lot. on
That is a
stage.
ton, yes.
So, and doubling that and then some is pretty incredible.
Right.
So, which is kind of fun, you know, and then you do it for a purpose, and like obviously keeping those targets lit kept, because if they weren't lit, then Casey would be, if he was running between locations, would be considered a casualty, and then we wouldn't have him to be able to run that anymore. And basically then Brent or Tyler would have to pick up the slack of picking up the loot and the rockets. But you guys did a
Exactly.
fantastic job. And honestly, this is a great example of a stage where if you have your teammate and you totally trust your teammates to do their job, like we did really well. Brent, did you ever find out if we got first on that one or tied first on that one?
So
We
the
got
highest score was 21.
Oh, close.
Paid to raid got 21, as well as stuffed crust and the Calumet dropouts. So those were the
We did
three
get
that
21. Okay.
we did. We tied
Nice.
for
Awesome.
first. It was a 3-way tie.
I'm
Awesome.
also trying to figure out. I'm looking at it. It says up to 48 points. You got to wonder how you. I mean, that's a lot more points
That's
than 21.
insane.
Yeah,
Holy
it's a lot
cow.
of precision rifle, and I'd be curious to score breakdown on those, because I guess finishing up my section of the stage. I grabbed the 2 rockets, loaded them into the tube, which was on the back of the truck over the cab. So you basically had to throw these pretty heavy rockets into the back of the truck and then throw them into the tube. Casey brought me the last 2, and I couldn't really start shooting until I had the red one. Apparently the order of operations was written on the back of the truck, which,
Oh,
yeah, I didn't know. And then the RO actually called that out. He goes, no, you can't start shooting until you have the red one. I was like, thank you. So he said, once they're all 4 loaded, as long as you engage the red one first, you can do whatever you want from there. I said, okay.
okay.
So
how many targets did you complete on that?
3.
Do you know?
Yeah,
3?
which was funny because I got done. I felt like that was really low, but the guy, when I got off there, he was like, no, people are getting 2 to 3 targets and that's it.
Okay.
So I took that as a win. But I got the 2s loaded up, got the rifle set up on the hill about 100 meters or 100 yards. They had tannerite set up, and you had to engage the can of tannerite first, because the idea was that it was basically like you shooting the rocket off, right? You had to gauge the tannerite before you could then shoot at the silhouettes out in the field, and then they were colored silhouettes as well. So, and probably one of my favorite moments of the entire match, because I'm pretty sure I told you guys about it 5 times. There's a can of tannerite out there, and I see it, and I'm like, oh, I get all excited, and I'm lined up. I had a rear bag I'd introduced into my shooting setup, and it was like a rock solid platform. And I must have rushed the trigger just a little bit, and the bullet goes off, and I can see inside my scope, because again, it was 100 yards, so fairly close. I hit the top of the tannerite, and it spins off the top of the can. Like, I literally thought it spin in the air. It was crazy. And I was like, oh, that stinks. So I moved on, found the red target, and they didn't have any ranges. So I'm trying to like laze it with my like handheld, and it was just, breathing hard and trying to find a good position. And I ended up lasing it, and it ended up being way off, but I hit it because it's again man size. So as long as I was close enough, so I shot it, dialed back to the next tannerite, hit that one, and that one exploded. And as I was starting to search for the next target, we ran out of time. But the RO gave me the top of the bottle, because you only had to hit the tannerite, which I did. It didn't go off, right? Because they only hit the top. So he actually gave us credit for that.
Cool.
Because we still hit it. But that was a lot of fun. And I think that stage, because I was using a semi-auto 6.5 Creedmoor, having a semi-auto was a huge bonus there because I didn't have to get off the gun at all, other than to like I guess laze the red target, I suppose. But I can immediately get back on it without having about cycling the bolt at all.
Right.
So 10 out of 10, and plus we're so familiar with like AR controls. I would 100% I would run that gun again. Anyway, so that was probably the longest stage I think we did all day, at least from like a technicality perspective. But that was my favorite stage, and just because
I think even again, time-wise, that was the longest too that we did. I think.
Do you remember the power on it?
It was a 5-minute power time. I believe.
5 minutes. Okay.
Is that it? I feel like the other long range was like 8. Anyway,
the long range
again, mad credit, and I think I liked that stage so much because
I think you're right.
Everyone did their role really well. So
the other long range was 8. You're right, because I remember saying we had 30 seconds per target, and there were 16 targets.
Right. Plus the movement underneath the barbed wire.
Yes, okay. Exactly.
Anyway, that was my favorite stage. You guys did fantastic. Again, I only got 3 shots in. They were all hits, I guess, which I'll take, and that was probably average. Obviously, we did well. Casey did a fantastic job. You got bonus points for all the loot brought in, so I think that's probably what also helped us stack up our score as well on that one. Again, just a fun team stage. With that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass it to Brent. What was your favorite stage?
Boy, I'm going to pick one that's probably going to be strange, but only because I was so proud and so geeked up about it. But I'm going to find it. Hold on, I got my tags.
Well, Brent's looking for that. I will say that. So the whole match is based on the Red Dawn, which is why it's called the Wolverines, or Wolverine 5K, because the high school was they were the Wolverines, the high school. All of the stage names are quotes from the movies,
right?
Or movie singular.
Right. So my favorite was open the glove compartment. Is it there?
That was a fun one.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. And do I get to keep going on this, Phil?
You sure do.
I do. So,
I mean, you only got 1 shot out, so
yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Which normally I'd be pissed that I only shot 1 time, but I was so proud of you guys. It was just crazy. This is in, I don't even know what bay this is in.
The L-shaped car bay.
Yeah, the L-shaped one, or something like that.
So there was.
I named it. I don't even have it on here.
There was 7 vehicles. You guys shut up! I'm telling a story.
No.
There's 7 vehicles on this stage, and you do not get to see this stage at all. Okay. There's three vehicles that are actually your shooting line, and then there are 4 vehicles that you pass on the way in there to do this. You start out with it's a pistol only stage. Well, no, it's not. We turned it into a pistol only stage.
Yeah.
You start out actually with a slingshot, and I'm going to have to say we are 70 yards away or so. The run, I don't know what that was. I got bad things. So we had a pistol, 1 magazine of 10 rounds, and then our carbine, 1 magazine of 10 rounds. The RO comes and takes your pistol and your carbine, and they put the carbines in the cars that are in the back, the 4 cars, and then they put your pistols in the cars that are actually the shooting line up front. The key to this one is that the carbines are actually locked in the car. At the start position, we're under a tent. We all have slingshots, believe it or not. And we have to one of us has to hit a barrel with a slingshot. Sounds easy. It was easy. Then we sprint and we come to the front of the cars and we search for our pistols. Once we find our pistols, we load from behind cover and we start engaging falling steel, meaning not poppers, but stuff that falls off of a stick. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There was only 10 of them, wasn't there?
15.
So this is wrong. This pre-sheet was wrong. So there's 15 targets that you have to knock off. what we found out was that if you do it with your pistols, you do not have to get your carbines, which is a big deal because the carbines are locked in a car. You find tools in the cars that you have your pistols in, and if you did not complete and knock all the steel down with your pistols, you had to go break into the car, get your carbine, and complete the stage. This is the one that earlier on that Tyler was talking about. Hey, let's just let Phil go. I am definitely going to be the slowest one on this. I was. Phil beats feet down through this thing. First door he opens, his pistol's sitting there. He loads and starts cranking. Tyler comes in soon as, short after that, finds his pistol. Casey gets his pistol right in front of me. He goes, here it is, Brent. And so I grab my pistol, load behind the car. I stand up. There's one freaking steel left. One. Casey, how many did you shoot? You shoot 2?
I put 3 rounds downrange for the entire stage.
Right. See, so there you are, he and I. I look up, I scan like I was supposed to see where it is, and I see one steel that's just jittering because Tyler's pounding it.
Dude, I'm still annoyed about that because that one specific steel was the first shot I went off. I was like, oh, they don't fall. Okay, just hit. Move on. And I look over, I see Phil dropping his. I'm like, what? So I go back. Bang. Still doesn't fall. I'm like, I'll just come back to it. I go. I'm like, all right, I'll go back. Bing. Still doesn't go down. And Phil's like, I'm out. I'm like, so I move on. And then Brent, his one shot takes down the steel. I shot 3 stinking times.
It was just the angle, and
I guess.
So here we go, guys. So if we help me with this, guys, if we did it with just our pistols, we got a bonus.
Yep.
It was a 2-minute par time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a 5-minute part time,
right.
But it was a 2-minute bonus. If you get it under 2 minutes, there was a bonus. Which is why most teams, they wouldn't be able to get the bonus if they had to move on to their rifle because they'd have to run back about 20 yards, break into a car. And
so here's where the USPSA shooters, like the 4 of us, are. 49 seconds, you guys. And like I was saying, I shoot 1 time, which at any other time I would be mad that I didn't get to shoot more, but I was completely happy. Casey shot 3 rounds downrange, and Tyler and Phil cleaned the house. So it was a fantastic stage win for us. I think this is another one that we won, wasn't it?
At the end of the day, they said we were the fastest time. We were not the last group on there, but I was talking to someone from Reaper, and they said they got it in 51 seconds. So I think we just barely snuck underneath.
Yeah. And that team has got a lot of like USPSA fast shooters too. So
yeah, IDPA guys and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Nikki and open glove compartment. So,
there was the max you could get was 50. Quite a few teams actually got that. I will probably email Claire and just see if he's got a record of the fastest team on that. Just because we got like, man, I think it was a good combination of skill and luck on that thing. Because the fact that I was there first, and my pistol was in the exact first car I ran to, and then Tyler's was there and right next to me. Oh man, you could not ask for a better result when we got there.
Right. And Casey and I, Casey came in not far after you guys, and I was definitely sucking wind and leading the back, but he went to the car that had his gun in it.
Yep.
And so there was some luck, and there was also some skill there because wow. Totally impressed with you guys, but yeah. And looking at the score, lots of people got 50 points on that thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty reasonable with a team of 4, right? So that's 40 rounds and then 15 targets, right? So even if you take your time on it, 2 minutes is pretty reasonable.
Let's count the rounds here, boys. Tyler, did you spend all your rounds?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did.
I think I went through 7.
Okay. So Phil took 10, you took 7, Casey took 3, I took 1.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Claire doesn't listen to this. He's going to make that way harder.
I know he is.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy to me is because they made it very clear in the stage brief that if you shoot the car, you will get DQ'd. And I'm looking at this list.
Me too. There's
a team that got DQ'd.
There is a team that got DQ'd.
Yep.
Oh, no.
So the question is that they most likely shot at it because they're if they broke any other rules, I know they're pretty
Yeah.
firm of like, yeah, if you're unsafe, you're like done. So my guess is they shot the van or shot
Probably.
a car.
Yep.
Maybe.
Oops.
Well,
Once again, that's an assumption. I have no idea, but I was like, wow.
yeah. So, yeah, and like I saying, that was probably my favorite stage just because of how we handled it. And just really proud of you guys for making the old man only have to shoot one time.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a fun stage. That was definitely top of my list as well. So, what about you, Casey? What was your favorite stage or a highlight stage for you?
Oh man, so many good ones. Actually, the car one was my least favorite for
Really?
just because. Hear me out. It was a great stage, but we were penalized for doing really well and cleaning up. I
Yeah.
wanted to go break into a car and do the
That's
fun,
valid.
goofy break into the
That's
car,
fair.
then you got to do something else. We did too well to where we didn't get to do some of the extra fun stuff,
That's so
and that's
funny.
not a
That's
complaint.
fair. I get that. Yeah.
Next time, make us carry the 250-pound worm going towards it. That's fine.
No.
Shut your
No.
mouth, man.
You can do that yourself, Casey.
Gosh.
Perfect.
Yeah. Include a cinder block for Casey too while you're at
Yeah.
Yeah, right in his mouth.
That's going to be his 35-pound plate this next year. Just put a cinder block in there. Forget the weight from the gym.
Exactly. I think my favorite stage are tied between the Guerrilla Games
Mhm.
and the what was the
Yeah.
name of it? A member of the elite paramilitary organization Eagle Scouts.
Those were fun. I agree with that.
And I think Guerrilla Games was really fun because it was kind of silly in some ways, and it was just kind of a nice break. So there were different stations, and you had to go through. Everybody had to go to each station and do something, but it was a hit some A zone steel with a pistol, and then there was a flamethrower, so you had to keep something lit. The flamethrower wasn't working for me, which was
I was
a
going
bummer.
to say, if it
Me neither.
worked, it didn't work for me. Also, none of us. Okay.
But they gave you credit for it anyways.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You
They
had
have
to throw. They had to throw grenades into like a burn barrel, and you could get different points for how far out you threw them.
Mhm.
There was a rifle shooting section, and I think the last one was throwing
There's an axe
little like
throw or a hatchet throw.
yeah. And then if you had bonus time, you could go shoot little army, like the little plastic army guys.
With like a Pez gun or whatever, like a little Smarty gun.
Yeah,
That's
and I
like,
think that was just like a real with gas going, of course. So all that was in gas masks.
Yes, exactly. A Mira gas mask. Mira, please sponsor
Please
us.
sponsor us.
I will definitely take your sponsorship.
Yeah,
So that was just like a fun stage, just out of the kind of broke up the seriousness of everybody stressing. Okay, we're gonna do this and this and this, and it was just go run and have fun.
I
right.
agree. That one was nice too because it wasn't like necessarily athletic, so it was like a nice breather, in my opinion. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't like absolutely gassed by the end. Like I remember like getting started. We all picked our because they're all different stations, so you had to be at one. So for me, I started originally with the axe throwing, and the lady right behind me who's like keeping score, she's like, "One of you guys should go over to rifle because that bottlenecks." Everyone was like, "All right." So I said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna move to rifle first." Like, okay. And for me, I had no issues. I went bang, 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 moved on because it was 3 targets downrange, 1 shot each, and you had to reload twice. So I did that. I was like, all right, moving on. But I do know, I think there were definitely some towards the end, there definitely was a bottleneck there. I was like, oh. So I
Well-
remember I already was able to take my gas mask off. By the end, it was like,
Yeah,
have fun,
same.
guys.
Yeah, I was the bottleneck on that, guys. I did
Yeah,
not.
I wasn't going to say it.
Well, I was. I did not understand the 3 reload, 3 reload,
Yeah.
and maybe I did at one time. But my first magazine that I put in that gun, I had a double feed. I had to clear it,
Oh,
so I ended up
that
putting 1
sucks.
shot downrange, and then
Yep.
my next magazine, I was able. So I was the weak link on that one, full sure.
We still got done in time though.
Oh, easily.
Oh, easily. There's tons
Yeah.
of time.
And we got like 10 bonus points on it. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
did.
Phil actually
Mhm.
shot. Who shot the little army men with the stupid
know.
little gun?
I know Phil
I think
did. I
both
did
you
not.
and I did. I think Tyler. Yeah.
I was able to shoot at it, but I did not knock any over.
Oh.
I was
I
under so a part of it too is because I was under the impression that you only had 1 shot. I didn't realize there were 5 shots in the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I shot once, but when I shot, I actually had two things go out. I was like, okay. And then I put it
Nice.
down. I was like, all right. And then no one said anything. I was like, okay. And then, of course, I see he was like, wait, we can do multiples? But by the end of it, I was like, I'm way past my turn. I did not want to put the mask back on.
Fair.
I'm like, this is not worth it.
All right.
Because
Yeah,
by the time I get the mask on, we'd be overtime anyway.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What about you guys? What's your favorites? Who's going next?
I think
Tyler.
it's me. I think I'm last. Yeah, no, I think you guys all kind of said my main one. So I guess I'll go ahead and just be that guy and say it was the shoot house then.
What?
Mhm.
So I enjoyed the shoot. Who said what?
I enjoyed the shoot house, but I still don't know what we did wrong there with.
I don't
Yeah, I know.
either.
I agree. Like in terms of either we had penalties or we did not get the A zone hits that we thought we did. But you know what? Either way, the movement of it was a lot of fun because, of course, basic shoot house stage. You're going, but the only caveat was there was like a I don't know 100 or 200 puzzle that was incomplete. There were 4 missing pieces. That the moment you walk in, you had to scan the puzzle and your goal was to go down, eliminate your threats, and then there's another table of like 10 to 12 puzzle pieces, and you had to pick what you think is the correct puzzle piece that will correctly be put in the puzzle. And you're not supposed to put it in the puzzle, you just put it on the table. It was like a 90-second par time per person, and
Easy.
you're going in with your rifle, 2 shots to the A zone, and then do not shoot the white targets, of course. And also, when you are empty with your rifle, then you can shoot with your pistol. And I just remember by the end of it, just running, going as fast as I can, zipping through, getting on the thing. And of course, my RO is like, I asked, I put the thing on. He's like just walking over because he was like, I already know you made time. I don't care because it's just a part time. So by the end of it, we asked like, what was my time? I was like, I don't know. It was probably like 45 seconds. I don't care. You're fast. I'm like, thank you for that. So I had a lot. It was fun for me. So
Yeah, that was the one stage that Tyler and I were talking about later that we probably should have had Tyler go last because
yeah,
the assumption then at the end of it we were done was like the first people to get the puzzle pieces were probably going to grab the ones that were maybe the easiest to get. Like I remember I grabbed like one that was literally like there was like airplanes on the puzzle, and I grabbed the airplanes. Like there was like a fuselage, like a good chunk of it. So I
yeah.
grabbed it like at the end of it, and it was really easy to find.
I grabbed the propeller.
So
Yeah.
here's the problem with that, guys. I went last. Okay. What I failed to do is I looked at that exact same thing, Phil, and said, okay, white with the fuselage, that should be easy for me. You had already got it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which
So
is what
I looked
sucks,
at looked at the pieces that were missing, but I didn't look at the pieces you guys brought back.
Well, he hit them.
Oh, did he?
Or at least that's what he did with me. When he grabbed my piece, he slid it underneath the puzzle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't know which ones were taken already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The
All
only
right.
way
No,
I think
no.
to handle that we could have done is have people grab puzzle pieces based on sector. Like no matter what, you're always going to have one that's going to be the furthest left into the top, furthest right into the top, and then right, and so on and so forth. Even if they're all like one stacked on top of each other. I don't know.
Right.
So
I hear what you're saying.
maybe you go top from bottom or something like that. It's like, hey, I'll grab the top one closest to the top, and then we'll work our way down.
Yeah, that would have been good, but you just don't think through that stuff. Hindsight's
No,
2020.
it's just
for
exactly
sure.
hindsight's 2020. So
And they won't have the same stage next year, the same puzzle. So it doesn't really matter to figure it out for next year.
Did anybody investigate that? I mean, look at scores and stuff. So here's what
somebody
I got
it.
Somebody got it.
Yeah, because somebody had like 40 plus points because it was 50 total.
Was it 50 total? There's a 48. There's a couple of 48s on here.
Yep.
But the shoot house on the thing, it says question marks for points. Okay. With that said, do you know what 3 teams didn't even go to the shoot house?
I was going to say the top 3. I noticed that right away.
Because they looked at it and go, if we don't know what points are, we're not
fun.
going to waste our time there. It was very good, wise move on their part to just
and it was probably one of the longest wait times as well.
Oh, big time. Yeah. So, once again, hindsight, next year we look at that and go, okay, if they're not going to tell us what the points are, then maybe we should make that one be our last one.
Yeah. Or get it early enough where there's no line.
possible.
I think it was probably good to have a quick break too. But I think we were ready. There was probably a half hour, which was kind of milling around where we were pretty recovered.
Yeah, I'll admit I needed that personally. I was smoked even leading up to it. By the end of it, I was pretty much done. I mean, especially after doing the Elite Pair, the Eagle Scout one. I know you guys were all kind of like, yeah, I think Tyler's done. Which, funny enough, the reason is because I was just chafing so bad at that point. I was like, I was just done.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
Tyler.
buy you some Body Glide for your wedding, Tyler.
Well, you know something funny, Phil? I found mine.
Oh, gee.
I found it. It was in my bathroom the whole time.
I need to order more. I'm gonna order some right now.
Yeah. So, because I
Jeez.
mean, I had like chafing powder, it worked, but I felt like I had to reapply it like after every 30 minutes because I was just sweating so much that day. But either way, though, so I guess the real question is, now that I know Phil, Brent, and myself have taken a year off of Wolverine 5K, we took a 1 year hiatus and we did it again this year. Would you guys do it again?
I'm planning on it.
Definitely.
Absolutely, man. If it's half as good as this year, I'll be happy.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I agree.
I think the decision that Claire made to allow you to run the ruck as fast as you want. No, and he even said up front, he's like, if you run it as fast as you want, you don't get extra points, you're not going to win.
Oh,
but if
totally,
you want to, if you want to shoot, but you also don't mind a little bit of rucking, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That decision right there is why we signed back up again for this year.
Yep,
I agree.
Seriously, I think that they did it. They outdid themselves, and yeah. I will say that the stages this year were probably the best that we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were really good, and I think other than the bottleneck at the shoot house, most of the lines were much better than years in the past. With stages like kind of in that middle section, we had a little bit of waiting for all of them, and maybe that was just a time of day thing. But yeah, I would definitely do it again for sure.
Yep.
How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, no, I would definitely do it again, schedule permitting. So
right,
it's definitely something that I really enjoyed. It was something that I was doing annually last year. Like I said, I did not do it for personal reasons, and like I said, it was definitely a arm twister for me to do it this year. But I'm definitely really glad that I did.
You free in January?
No.
I may have messaged Casey earlier in the week and been like, what are we going to do to place for the Winter Wolverine?
You guys have fun with that.
Well, I mean, we are Vikings, so just saying.
I'm from a tropical island, and my people are technically from an island too. So,
but you're the guy with shorts and a t-shirt when it's snowing out.
That is true, and I have hiked the UP in February, but still, I am good.
My powers only grow as frost gets in my beard.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh man. So what's that question? I would consider that. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, I absolutely love going up and supporting Andrew at Wolf Recon and doing that, which doesn't mean we can't do both. Lay it out for me, guys. What you might have to convince me. We don't have to do it right now, but and do we have a possibility of winning? Because snowshoes are my friend.
It's true. Yeah, that's a good point because you do boogie pretty good on those snowshoes.
It's a different thing for me, man.
Yep.
Either way, I guess go for it.
I was just saying, I don't want to get into the Winter Wolverine, but I do love the fact that there is the summer experience and then the winter experience. Like, obviously, likelihood of any of us having to go to war in Michigan, in the middle of the winter, really low. But I'd like to think I'm like, it's nice to get out to just check your gear to make sure in yourself and to find out like, hey, if you do have to shoot in snow, like what are the things that you should do? Like bring 2 pairs of shooting gloves because you freeze one and then forget about them and try to put them back on and your fingers get frozen.
I just laugh. I love you, Phil, but I've seen you refuse to reload in the snow.
I would just put it in my dump pouch, buddy. Then we're good to go.
Hey Tyler.
What's up?
Winter shooting, no chafing, dude.
That is true.
But I will
Well,
also
I
point out,
don't know,
Tyler,
man.
that
I
yeah,
believe it. I think I've chafed in the winter before.
yeah.
My body produces so much heat, dude. Which is why I can wear a t-shirt in the winter.
Oh, perfect. It was like 15 degrees out last time.
I don't know about that one. But either way, all that to say, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts about
Just
what?
anything you like to conclude in, maybe like, yeah,
Brent will take that one. Like I'm saying, for me, doing this stuff is about doing something hard, pushing yourself.
yeah.
I think all of us enjoy the anticipation and the preparation for doing something like this. I mean, training something, working on our gear. It's almost as fun as the event. For me, I've voiced this before in all kinds of things, but just this brotherhood that comes along with this, not only on our team, but like the whole event, how other teams are, they're encouraging you, man, keep it up and get going. And that was a nice one. And
Hmm.
um, the the RO staff this year was super encouraging.
Mhm.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
best compliment I got was we got done with what was the one, Gorilla, not Gorilla Games, the it's one you mentioned with all the
Eagle Scouts?
yeah, the Eagle Scouts, when we were doing all the crazy kind of physical stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I was doing that whole jerry can thing, and I was actually switching hands, so I was going strong hand weekend on the single hand shot. And the RO that was with me, and the main RO, he got done. He goes, "I appreciate your attention to safety, like how I
Hmm.
transferred
Mhm.
hands and things like that." And I'm just like, that was the best compliment I think I've ever got.
For
So,
sure.
um, all in all, to me, it's about the brotherhood. Casey, it was amazing getting to know you and, be part of a team with you. I'm super impressed with you and all the stuff that you bring to the table, and the friendship and the camaraderie. It was fantastic. And Tyler and I eating our body weight in fish, or at least we tried to. Crazy little girl
Oh,
wouldn't let us. But
oh my
no, I
goodness.
just it's all about that for me and doing hard stuff. And as I get, I know that I say I'm old and stuff, but I'm next year I do this, I'm going to be 60 years old, and I want to keep doing this. And eventually I'll be like, hey guys, I'm going to slow you way down. So who knows? Maybe I'll start like an old man team or something like that.
The OG
But
3+1.
there you
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
I just want to keep doing this kind of stuff. And preparing and the things that I do. But it all it it boils down to, it's about doing this with these guys that I appreciate and consider brothers, and that's you guys. So thank you for including me. I know you probably could have done a little better if you'd have got a little whippersnapper guy,
I
but
don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm the youngest one and I was struggling the most.
um, and with that, Tyler, I should have pushed you. I'm glad you made the decision, but I should have pushed you to go out and try that crucible, because in the brotherhood, it's kind of like one of those things where when somebody's done. But I think I could have pushed you, and we could have stacked some points on the board for that.
Yeah, and it was a mix. I know for me, up to that point, the chafing sucks, but I just could tell my lower back was definitely
Yeah.
getting. Being a power lifter, I just knew my lower back was getting there,
Sure.
and I didn't want to get to that point. And I could also tell. I'm going to throw Casey under the bus. I could tell Casey really wants to go pick up his lost can as well.
Whatever, you guys. I don't know.
What lost can? What are you
I know.
talking about?
I know,
Ugh.
you better watch it. Um,
Yeah, his
you know,
Coke can.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. His
ATF
fish
sponsor us.
can. Yeah.
So there's my 2 cents, guys. But you probably knew that was coming from me. So
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Love it.
So Phil, what's your dad advice?
Well, I was real quick on I think the one thing I want to point out too is having goals for next year as well. They do this thing at first, and I thought it was a little bit kind of goofy. They call it like the Wolverine tab. You had to I forget how many Wolverines you had to compete with in the past.
3
And then,
Wolverines,
yep,
what was it, 4 or 6 strict pull-ups and get
3
80%.
only.
Oh, 3? Okay.
Yeah,
But you had to do it but you had to be hardcore, so it had to
that
be
is correct.
with your plates. And
Correct.
then also you needed to get 80% on the Wolverine qualifier
Yep.
with your pistol and
Um,
rifle.
my goal is going to be to do that next year.
Okay.
So like the problem I run into a lot of times, like same thing with Badger last year, like I did it and then I kind of like slacked off my exercising afterward. Personally, extremely happy with my cardio this year. Not so happy with the strength side of things. That's an improvement thing I need to do on. So that kind of showed out a little bit in the
Funny. I was complete flipped. My cardio
I
sucked.
know.
My strength was great.
That's just the way you and I are. So I guess
I
for you,
know.
maybe that's something you work on your cardio next year. I'll work on my strength for next year.
I
But
guess we
like
can start working out again, man.
we live so far apart. But that's gonna be my goal. So I again, assuming we're all gonna do it again next year, I will probably push the team to get 8 stages done of the 10 next year. And then we'll probably start practicing for the Wolverine qualifier and make sure that I can get, now that I know exactly what that looks like, make sure I'm getting 80% on that puppy. So
I tell you what, that was just dumb, stupid jitters and all that stuff for us. We're all banging away, so we didn't get our hits. We had plenty of time. I mean, like, I'm unloaded and holstered, and the beep goes off.
Yeah,
yeah. Just should have freaking slowed down and got our hits. And
I know
that
was first stage of the day. We're also worried about. We need to make sure we can get to our ruck on time and other personal things as well that kind of popped up. So it was definitely a mix of things. I'm not justifying it or excusing it, but it does make sense.
But isn't that part of this game is keeping our head?
It is.
And training for that. And so what would happen if we had to get all of our hits to survive? If the bad guys, if we needed to get 80% because the bad guys were coming, well, guess what? Bad guys won.
Yeah. No, you're right. So again, it's just for me having goals, and then like this just motivates me throughout the winter to get there. Plus, honestly, doing the winter Wolverine, which I know Casey, you're not 100% settled on yet, but if I don't have these goals personally, I will stop exercising, working out, whatever you name it. But if I have these things in front of me where I feel like if I don't do it, that's gonna like let my team down. So Tyler, that is my dad advice.
I
figured
it was
create and set goals for yourself, and then to Brent's point is push your team to also create and make the goals as well too.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but one of the reasons that I'm continuing going is the weekend before Zombie, my wife, and last year she competed in, it's called the Rough Ruck. It's a 12-mile, 35-pound ruck, and her and one of her girlfriends completed it. There's a 4-man team of that where everybody carries 25 pounds, but you got to complete it in 3 hours. So she's like, well, you're going to be here. Do you want to do that with us? And I said, yes. But yes, and the fact that my wife saw what happened when you guys got me involved in this and we started doing these kind of crazy things, she got involved with the rucking with her girlfriends and really enjoy it. Yeah. So I am going to do 12 miles the weekend before we go to Zombie. So hopefully I can walk.
Yeah, no kidding.
And drive us there.
Oh, driving's easy. You don't need no legs.
All right, Tyler, what's your dad advice?
My dad advice is communication is so important. I think of myself and how I'm about to get married in 30 days, actually, at the timing of this recording. And it's so easy to have the same purpose, to try to get the same goal, the same why, and yet you're communicating 2 different languages. Brent kind of joked at this earlier and how we were trying to eat our weight in fish, weight in fish, but it was an all-you-can-eat fish fry, essentially. And we're getting our seconds, and we look at the ladies like, all right. I looked at her and said, hey, can we get 1 each? And she said, sure. And as she's walking away, I think it was Phil or Case or just one of the guys from PDT looked over and was like, we are going to die laughing if she shows up with 2 pieces of fish. 5 minutes later, what does she show up with?
2
exactly
pieces of fish.
2 pieces of fish. And we looked at her, it's like, whoa. We were just so dumbfounded by it. She walks away. The next lady comes and we're like, we need 3 fish each. So we need 6. But Even with the Wolverine 5K, there were so many stages because they were team stages, required over communication. As a leader, I've just learned that you need to communicate things at least 7 times, because
Mm.
when you feel like you're saying something too many times, usually that's the first time people will hear it. So communication is just so important.
We did well on that.
I
That
agree.
I'm
That was
glad you
something
said
we
something
did
about that.
phenomenally
Yes.
well in.
We had in the ROs actually on a couple of stages told us that exact same thing.
Yep.
So good job, guys.
I agree. Casey, what with you, brother?
I got 2 things. The real quick one is get outside and go do hard things with the homies.
Yep.
Love it.
Basically what Brent said wrapped up. And the second one is I think it has gotten so easy to just go about your day without having to think about anything. I drive to work with my GPS on every day, and I know how to get to work. And obviously, it's for traffic, but it's so easy to, oh, I just have to go here. You hit a button, and you're just magically there, transported.
Right.
And so I think that if something were to happen to where you weren't able to, you had to have some friction to get where you needed to go get a map and compass, learn how to use them effectively. Print out the MGRS for your area and being able to grid that sort of thing out. Look at what's around you and say, half the land nav I did wasn't, we need to get 200 meters at 38 degrees. It was, it's on top of this big hill in front of us.
Yeah.
That didn't take any work. It was get to the top of the hill. And so understand maps, learn how to use them a little bit, and because you might not always have the most convenient option in front of you because cell towers will go out. And what do you do? How do you get there?
Yeah, I need
You
to learn
call
how to do
Casey.
that, Casey. Yeah.
All right, Brent.
I have 2 because, you know, I have got a book full of quotes and I don't get to use them. This one's appropriate because of the Viking talk. Viking quote, burn the ships, there's no going back. Vikings would burn their ships when they arrived at some new conquered area. So staying with the course of, keep training, well, burn the ships so that you can't go back. The serious one, remember, you don't need a certain number of friends, just a number of friends you can be certain of. You guys are that. So
I like
I
that.
appreciate that. I do too.
Thank you.
yeah, don't seriously. I about guarantee that if I said I am in big trouble right now, and if I called one of you, you'd come and get me or whatever it is. Like not out of jail or anything, but
Right.
maybe. Like seriously, I got a flat tire or I didn't.
Oh,
there's
100%.
Nobody. That's what I'm
I
saying.
called AAA for you.
Oh gosh, Casey would use GPS and come and get me. So anyway, just having friends like that in my life has been crazy. And I say this all the time. I cannot count the amount of unbelievable, awesome people that I've met because of firearms.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know any of you guys if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Media likes to portray it as an evil thing.
That is true.
In used in the right format, in the right situations, in fun and unique ways, it's hard for guys to connect. We do so over and during events and during hard times, and realistically, in this world, there's not a lot of hard times in the United States, so we have to kind of manufacture them, and we do it for a weekend or whatever. But yeah, to your point, it's like how do you get that type 2 fun and make those and cement those relationships, right?
Right.
And build communication and such under fire. So yeah.
Cool.
Agree.
Close us out, Phil.
All right. I want to thank our guests, Brent and Casey, for joining us this evening and recording this podcast. If you're listening to it, it might be the morning, but hey, we recorded in the evening again. And then I want to huge thanks to both of them and Tyler for joining me this year in the Wolverine 5K. I'm really glad that it turned out to be a lot of fun for everybody, because if it didn't, I'm kind of the one that dragged us into this. That being said, as soon as I brought it up, Brent jumped in immediately, and I knew that I was stuck and we were going to do it. So appreciate that. And again, just couldn't be prouder on the way that we did things. So with all that, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, follow. YouTube, Instagram. Tyler, thank you for posting a
I
ton of
know.
videos lately.
Our social media manager is finally posting stuff.
He's doing a fantastic job. I'm going to actually edit this podcast. The night is recorded, so it's going to go out the next day. Tyler, if you want to do a little face or Instagram, Facebook, whatever post, that'd be great. And then if you can email us, podcast@acceptableaccuracy.com. Jeff, we have your email. We ran into it at the 5K. We have read it mostly. We'll get back to you.
Eventually.
And,
I mean, we did. Technically, we got back to you at the 5K. We did it in person. We replied to it in person. That's how dedicated we are.
That service.
Yeah. 2 months later.
Yep. Did I miss anything, Tyler?
That's it. Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.